Yes, that's correct. MVP winner Wilson was seen on camera, putting down Paige Buers and Caitlin in a video that has since emerged. In essence, Clark stated that they have had it easier than others. When Aya Wilson attempted to harm Caitlin, she revealed her true nature. Ironically, Clark is acting in the same way toward Caitlin and Nike. Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if Aya Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time that Caitlin Clark would outsell Aya's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be the case. Wilson revealed that she endured a great deal of hardship this year. This year is more the first time I've ever had someone call my game boring. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It can be exhausting to have to show up every day and people might not give you the respect you desire. But if I know my value, I don't care. It was just a vulnerable moment for me to let my teammates know that I could rely on them on the many days when I don't feel like myself. CLE Wilson had a fantastic season. She easily won MVP and received more recognition than ever before, but she is blaming Caitlin Clark because it is not her fault that fans won't attend games without her. It looks like we're not going to be seeing Caitlin Clark play basketball again for another 200 days. An ESPN reporter said at the end of the Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun game 2 that Caitlin Clark almost definitely will not be playing basketball this offseason. So no overseas and no 3-on-3 unrivaled league. Wilson is still unhappy with the amount of attention Caitlin is receiving, believing that since she was MVP, she should be the most spoken about. However, Caitlin had an incredible MVP season and is now receiving more promotions from Nike than ever before. Now A'ja Wilson was a more dominating player and deserved to be the MVP and unanimous. Wilson, the WNBA's towering figure, has recently been embroiled in controversy and recent events have clouded her career as the clips have surfaced again, exposing some troubling remarks made by the two-time MVP. A major aspect of the scandal centers on which has rocked the WNBA community and sparked debate about racial privilege and opportunity in professional women's basketball. Wilson and her teammate Kelsey Plum's connection. Wilson made frank remarks that many saw as disparaging white WNBA players, including up-and-coming players like Paige Buers and Caitlin Clark. Both players are considered future league stars, and their college basketball accomplishments have garnered them a lot of media attention. But Wilson claims that their race significantly influenced the opportunities they were given. She said that players like Paige and Caitlin had an advantage in the WN just because they were white. The world is so crazy. Wilson, the woman in this video, who is the daughter of a professional basketball player and attended a private school her entire childhood, is unable to acknowledge her privilege, but swiftly calls attention to others. Wilson pointed out Paige Buers, who is still a college basketball player, but is already regarded as a potential WNBA star. Wilson was upset that Paige had received more publicity and attention than many other players, even though she was still a few steps away from joining the league. Wilson's remarks sparked a flurry of debate within the WNBA, with players, fans, and analysts weighing in on the implications of her remarks. Even though Paige Buers is still in her early stages of her WNBA career, she has already made waves in women's basketball. Her skill on the court is indisputable, and many have hailed her as one of the sport's future faces. As a star guard for the University of Connecticut, Buers has received praise and media attention for her ability to dominate games with a level of skill that far surpasses her years. Luckily, I don't play for their approval. I play for God. I play for my teammates. I play for my coaching staff. I play for people who support me, good game or bad in their opinion. So all that to say, I had a great summer. Wilson allegedly made remarks about her teammate Kelsey Plum, another player who has been crucial to the Las Vegas Aces' success, further escalating the already tense narrative of privilege. Wilson allegedly made disparaging remarks about Plum, a former number 1 draft pick and one of the league's top scorers. In these remarks, Wilson allegedly implied that Plum had benefited from certain advantages that players like herself had not, while Plum had faced her fair share of hardships en route to becoming one of the NBA's best guards. This was not merely a general criticism of the league. Rather, it was a direct jab at Plum's individual journey as a professional athlete. Caitlin Clark, Dawn Still, the great Dawn Still, who I revere by the way. But she was playing the way she's playing now. Well, wait a minute, she had the potential. Playing amongst other stars with her marksmanship, she could have made big things happen. With her passing ability, she could have made things happen. Then she would have drawn excitement and eyeballs, and people the world over would have been watching her, which would have assisted in the elevation of the WNBA brand, which would have benefited everybody. Wilson has also criticized Caitlin Clark, a player who has been drawing attention with her performances and is another rising star. Fresh off her Rookie of the Year campaign, Clark was just one vote away from receiving the award unanimously when Angel recast the lone dissenting vote, igniting even more controversy. Despite Clark's obvious talent, rumors indicate that Wilson wasn't overly excited about the prospect of him being elevated to the position of the league's next major star. Nike is a business that has long collaborated with the biggest names in sports, such as according to insiders. Wilson voiced her displeasure with the idea of Nike promoting Caitlin Clark, a young star, because the multinational sports conglomerate Nike has been strategic in who they promote, particularly in the basketball world, where personalities and marketability go hand in hand with athletic performance. As she rose through the ranks with incredible talent and fan appeal, Wilson's goal was to maintain her position at the top of the WNBA's hierarchy alongside Clark's rising star and gaining more media attention, not just to compete on the court. AA believed that her status as the league's dominant player and two-time MVP might be downplayed. Noise that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have. This put Nike in a challenging situation since, as a major WNBA sponsor, they had to strike a balance between appreciating Clark's talent and being loyal to one of their biggest stars, Wilson. Given her appeal to a younger generation of basketball fans, Nike couldn't ignore Caitlin Clark's ability to draw fans as her popularity soared due to her incredible performances, making her one of the sport's most talked about young athletes. They later released this top, and it sold out in less than an hour. In under 50 minutes, Nike's tacky shirt commemorating Caitlin Clark's award sold out. Somebody coming along and elevating the sport's shine ultimately benefits you. Go out there, compete with her, try to bust her up if you want to, and all of that stuff. Just don't hate on the acclaim that she's getting. Nike understands that Caitlin, with her charisma and star power, could sell more products, especially as she continues to dominate on the court. However, because AO is a player with a sizable fan base and one of the WNBA's faces, it was challenging for Nike to simply shift their marketing efforts toward Clark without creating conflict. Have somebody that's come along, who, by the way, I'm going to go there, who happens to be white and brought a level of attention and allure to the sport it had not received before. And what we were seeing from an abundance of folks appeared to be. For months, Nike refrained from aggressively promoting Caitlin Clark, allegedly at Wilson's request. According to all accounts, AO had demanded more visibility for herself, believing that her accomplishments, including her MVP titles and leadership on the court, warranted a higher level of promotion. She argued that, as a player who had already proven herself at the highest level, she'd be the focus of Nike's marketing efforts within the WNBA. However, Nike eventually had to reconsider after realizing that Caitlin Clark's undeniable talent made her a prime candidate for Nike's campaigns. After a lengthy pause, they finally posted about her, much to the delight of her expanding fan base. This move wasn't without complications, though. Angel Reese's lone dissenting vote sparked controversy and added fuel to the ongoing debate surrounding Clark's ascent. For many, the fact that Clark did not win unanimously was seen as symbolic of the division in the league, with some questioning whether personal biases had influenced the voting. Nevertheless, Caitlin Clark's Rookie of the Year victory was a significant milestone that was marred by the fact that her win was not unanimous. This argument increased the stress because, although Clark was finally receiving attention, the story of her accomplishment was tainted by dispute. If you really feel like Angel Reese was the Rookie of the Year, then just own it. I don't care. I don't think Caitlin Clark's going to care. Fans are eager to see what Caitlin Clark will do next, especially considering her incredible talent and the attention she has already received. But the division within the WNBA is becoming more obvious than ever as she starts to take center stage. It remains to be seen how the dynamics within the WNBA and Nike's marketing strategies will change as Clark's star continues to rise and Wilson battles to maintain her position at the top. Wilson, who was once hailed as a trailblazer and a unifying figure in women's basketball, is now facing backlash for her actions for Nike. As they continue to promote both players, they will need to navigate the complexities of this controversy to ensure that they remain aligned with the values of inclusivity and fairness that they have long spoken. I thought she would be unanimous. I mean, it's not even close because I said the most important person in the league is Caitlin Clark and should be a top 5, if not it should have been a top 3 MVP candidate. Despite the undeniable talent and popularity that Caitlin Clark has brought to women's basketball, it is evident that AA Wilson does not like her. Despite the fact that Clark has done nothing but compete at an exceptionally high level, she has been the subject of criticism, with AA leading the fight. Others defend Wilson, claiming that AA is merely expressing a very real issue with race and privilege in the sport for Caitlin Clark, while others have claimed that Wilson's actions reveal her concerns about her position in the league and her desire to keep her domination at the top. The fact that she was one vote away from a unanimous victory and AA's ongoing resistance to her promotion have clouded what should have been a moment of celebration for the young star. This moment of triumph, winning Rookie of the Year, and finally getting attention from Nike, is bittersweet. Yes, she's getting her flowers, but it comes at a time when the WNBA seems more divided than ever. Pretty impressive for Caitlin to win Rookie of the Year in a dominant fashion when it is going to be one of the great rookie classes in the history of the league. While many praised Clark's performance this season, Angel Reese, the lone vote against the Rookie of the Year selection, has also found herself in the crosshairs. Discussions concerning whether personal prejudices are influencing how players cast their votes for league awards have been sparked by Reese's vote. Many fans have been inspired by Wilson's story of overcoming adversity to become one of the WNBA's most dominant players for a long time. But many are now wondering if she's letting her personal grievances influence how she treats other players in the league. I would have loved to have been valued as a basketball player. I would have been loved to have been spoken about just for my play. I think everybody in the league can say that, but nobody ever let us do that. So what happened? We started to build a back. Players like Caitlin Clark and Paige Boers represent the future of women's basketball, but they are entering a league where privilege and opportunity are contentious issues. This is evident as fans, analysts, and fellow players continue to analyze these events. Although the debate over privilege in sports is not new and won't be resolved anytime soon, Wilson's remarks have fanned the flames, and it seems unlikely that this issue will be resolved without more hostilities in the end. Whether she meant it or not, Wilson's recent comments have drawn a lot of criticism. She is now perceived as someone who actively opposes the advancement of younger players like Caitlin Clark, and although she is by no means the first athlete to make contentious remarks on the subject, her words have unquestionably had an impact on the WNBA. She's not perfect. She's a rookie in this league. She is not flawless. She is not flawless. Even though she is a rookie in this league, her future is still bright and her talent is undeniable. But this controversy will probably follow her for a while. As for Caitlin Clark, her journey is just getting started. Only time will tell how this story unfolds. Will Wilson's remarks continue to drive division in the league? Or will these players find a way to unite in the interest of advancing the sport? If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. There are now more videos visible. Thank you so much.